I should have walked away the day his mom slid that prenup across the table with a smug little smile. But I didn't. I was in love. And I was naive enough to think Ryan was different from his family. When I met Ryan, I was doing just fine on my own. Solid career in tech, nice apartment in San Diego, and zero interest in anyone's money. His parents, Barbara and Charles, were wealthy real estate types who'd spoiled Ryan his whole life. They gave him a fancy house in La Jolla, paid for college, and got him a cushy job in the family company. From the start, they didn't like me. Barbara would ask borderline insulting questions about my background and career, while Charles barely acknowledged my existence. Still, I thought love would win them over. Then Ryan proposed. I thought it meant I was finally being accepted, until we were invited over to his parents' house for dinner, and they blindsided me with a prenup. Barbara didn't even pretend to be subtle. "This is just a formality," she said, sipping her wine. "It ensures that if things don't work out, you'll leave with whatever you came in with." Ryan said nothing. Not a word in my defense. And I, like a fool, signed it. It won't matter, I told myself. I don't need their money. The first year of marriage was good. The second, by year 3, Ryan had become a replica of his mother. Critical, condescending, emotionally absent. Little jabs here and there. "You should try Botox. Be grateful I take care of things." Never mind that I worked full-time and contributed to every expense. It was always his house, his money, his life. I was just a guest, barely tolerated by his overbearing parents. And then everything changed. My estranged uncle passed away. I barely knew him, but apparently, I was the only relative he trusted. He left me everything, $22 million. The moment I told Ryan, his first words were, "Wait, how much?" Suddenly, I wasn't just acceptable. I was the family jewel. Barbara invited me to brunch. Charles started calling me kiddo and asking about investment plans. Ryan was suddenly affectionate again, full of ideas about vacation homes and investing in the family business. Smiled. He nodded. And quietly, I met with a lawyer. We pulled out that prenup. And guess what? In their eagerness to protect Ryan's assets, Barbara and Charles never considered protecting his share of my money. If we divorced, he'd get nothing. Not a dime. So I played the role. I let them think they'd won. Meanwhile, I moved my inheritance into a separate account, started house hunting, and made a clean exit plan. Then came the cherry on top, Ryan's affair. I found months of texts with someone named Lena. Photos, dates, all of it. He wasn't just a selfish husband. He was a cheating one. Probably waiting to secure access to my money before ditching me. I hired a PI, got proof, and added it to my arsenal. One night, Ryan came home babbling about some business deal his dad wanted him to invest in. I handed him the divorce papers. He laughed. "You do realize you'll get nothing, right? That prenup." I pulled out my copy and pointed to the clause that left him with zero access to anything I earned or inherited during the marriage. Color drained from his face. Then, for dramatic effect, I slid over the photos of him and Lena. High-definition betrayal. "We'll be in touch," I said and walked out the door. His calls came flooding in. Angry, desperate, pathetic. I ignored them all. Then Barbara called, screaming, accusing me of ruining Ryan's life. I just said, "No, he did that all on his own." They tried to fight the prenup in court. Claimed it was unfair. My lawyer brought a forensic accountant and dropped another bomb. We'd uncovered evidence of financial fraud in their company. Shady tax stuff. Hidden assets. Barbara and Charles had been cooking the books for years. And now we had proof. Ryan. His name was on half those documents. Whether he understood what was happening didn't matter legally. The judge upheld the prenup. My money stayed mine. Their business got frozen. The IRS stepped in. Their reputation. Last I heard, they sold their mansion to cover legal fees. Ryan moved in with them. Not into the estate, but into a rented condo. No money, no company, no influence. Just each other, miserable and exposed. As for me, I live in a beachfront home, paid in full, sipping cocktails without a soul telling me I was lucky to be included. No, Barbara. I wasn't lucky. You were just foolish enough to underestimate the wrong woman.